Lesson 2. If you hadn't watched lesson 1, go back and watch it. It's just a few minutes long. I'm making these shorts. It doesn't take you long to look at them. But if you remember lesson 1, we went over 3 notes per string and 3 strings. If you remember, in the key of G, you got your 3 major chords, which is a G, a C, and a D. And we termed those as your 1 chord, your 4 chord, and your 5 chord. And then we found, by going down 2 strings and over 2 frets, we found our root note an octave higher. So that's where we started. On the last video, I showed you the 3 notes per string. And if you notice, it kind of makes like a rectangle. The middle one is going to be where your root note is. The bottom one is going to be where your 4 note is. And the top one's going to be where your 5 note is. And you want to recognize that you got those 3 notes on each of those strings. But if you can visualize this little rectangle, and then there's the very middle of it, you'll be miles ahead, because you can use that on this string, which is the D string, and you can also use it right here on the A string, which is the 2nd string from the top. So if your root note is there, you got this rectangle. If your root note is there, you got this rectangle. If your root note is here, you've got this rectangle. If your root note is here, you've got that rectangle. I hope that makes sense. In each chord, you have 3 notes that make up a major chord. So you have the 1, 3, and the 5 make it up. That may not make any sense to you right now, and it doesn't have to. All you have to do is remember that there's certain notes that sound good in a certain chord. So a G note sounds good in a G chord. A B note sounds good in a G chord. A D, which is this string open, sounds good in a G chord. Same thing with the C and the D. There's certain notes that sound better in these chords. What we want to do, we want to find the notes in our little rectangle. We want to find the notes that correspond with these chords. The chord G, there's certain notes in this rectangle that's going to sound good. You got your G, your B, and your D, which you don't have to know the notes because you're going to move this rectangle around on the neck depending on the key. If I'm in the key of G, this note right here is where I start. This is the middle string of my rectangle. We're going to start with the string above it, which is my 5 note. For the key of G, the notes that go in this chord are going to be, on the top string, it's just going to be that 1 note. On the middle string, it's going to be that note and that note, both sides of the rectangle. On the bottom string, or the 4 chord string, it's just going to be the middle note. So you got, if you hit any of those notes while somebody's playing a G, it's going to sound decent. Now with the 4 chord, if I was playing a C, on this top string, you're going to have the middle string, you're going to have just that note, and on the bottom string, you're going to have that one and that one. So you got, so if you hit any of those notes while somebody's playing a C, it's going to sound good. Now when we go to the D chord, you got that one, both ends on that top string, and then the middle note on the middle string, and the middle note on the bottom string. So those notes are going to sound good if you're playing over a D chord. Now let's just change things up a little bit. Let's just say we're playing in the key of E. Well, there's my E note right there. My rectangle is going to be right here. Right? So I know that my notes that go with the root is going to be there, 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 and there. The notes that's going to go with my 4 chord is going to be there, 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 and there. The notes for my 5 chord is going to be, so if somebody's playing an E in the key of E, they'd be playing an E, an A, and a B7. And so you can move this pattern around on the neck. We didn't just go a whole lot deeper. I just want to show you the target notes. That's basically what they're called. If you can hit those target notes, if you know where those target notes are and you can hear where the chord changes during the song, you can try and target those notes. You're not limited to that by any means. You're limited to your ability to listen and to hear a tune or to make a tune that you are pleased with. Don't just limit yourself to that, but that will get you started. That'll get you back home, so to speak, so you don't get lost. And anyway, we'll go a little bit further. We're just going to take it a step at a time and try and work you through this. Thank y'all. God bless.